Hey, I'm Alex, and I'm teaching the VR and mixed reality coding class. So in this class, we're going to be using Unity to make VR games, essentially. I have here my Quest 3. This is what I typically use, but if you don't have a headset, that's okay too. There's an option for the Google Cardboard, which is like a 10-ish dollar Amazon piece of cardboard that you slot a phone into. And that's kind of the most accessible way that we can do really basic kind of VR stuff. Um, so we'll be using Unity and some of their out-of-the-box VR features to make a virtual environment that you can play and like move around different objects with. We'll talk about building our own interactions, replacing the hand models, how to do like physics and making sure performance stays optimized because in VR you have to hit a really stable frame rate, otherwise it makes people sick. Speaking making people sick, there's a lot of things that you have to do in VR to make sure people don't get sick beyond just frame rate. Things like the field of view and different options for motion. For a lot of people, moving around like with the joystick or with the keyboard and mouse in VR, that is feels very unnatural, so that can make people sick. So we're going to talk about things like that. We're going to talk about different VR hardware options, kind of like I was talking about the Google Cardboard, all the way up to something like the Valve Index, and what the different DOF options are, how VR works in terms of something like the Quest has inside-out tracking. There's cameras on the outside of the headset versus something like the Vive that has what they call lighthouses. So it's outside-in tracking. You have a space that's kind of set up with two boxes on either end. And we can talk about other options too for creating VR apps. Besides just Unity, you can make things for VR in things like VR Chat, or A-Frame is a web-based tool for making web VR projects. We can talk about different locomotion options besides the controllers. So um, things like swinging your arms left and right to move around a scene and different things like that. Um, and yeah, we'll talk about UI design and kind of how that opens up a big box of different opportunities in VR. So you don't have to have just a flat menu with buttons. You could have like a whole battle station with like 3D buttons and levers and gears and all kinds of things. So we can get really kind of creative with user interface in VR. So that's something that'll be really exciting to dive into. And yeah, that's kind of a quick summary of some of the stuff we'll get into in the class. So I'm excited to meet all of you and learn about VR and hopefully make some fun projects along the way as well.